What's up, everybody? Bueller here again, and here's another episode of Trade Floor Tickers. This is episode number 3, and what this basically is every Sunday I go into chat and I ask everybody to send me some tickers, just drop me some tickers, and I'm going to go through the TA routine on them. So we have 4 from LRD, Roku, Run, UPS, Nvidia, Boeing, and DVN. So about 10 tickers today. Normally we do about under 10, but today I don't mind doing 10. So today will be a longer video, but still a really good convo though. So make sure to click link in the bio if you're not a part of our chat. By the way, you're gonna love really everything, and we have a lot going on right now. So definitely come in here, and if you don't know anything, definitely make sure to read this channel first. A lot of the FAQ section explains a lot of what we do here, and everything we do. So yeah, let's get into this though. So as you can see though, I already shared the trade floor tickers. Let's get into the charting. So if you're not familiar with the TA routine, it's just a technical analysis routine, kind of a setup, a plan. We go through really a checklist of everything we like to go down through on bigger time frames to smaller time frames and set up a really good trade plan for day trading. So also it's really good for just bigger time frame analysis. So if you as you're going along, you're analyzing it. So that'll help you. But what is really big with this system is repetitiveness. So if you go through this and you do it over time, you don't just do it once. You do it over a bunch of your tickers on your watch list each week. You'll get a hang of it. So a big thing before I start too is, yes, there are a ton of lines whenever you're on the bigger time frames, but this is what's for the smaller time frames. So of course, if you want to narrow it down to just levels around current price, you definitely can. You don't have to flood your screen. But let's just get into this so you'll see what I mean. So start with Amazon. So we're on the weekly time frame. I want to grab the top of my range and a good area that is a good resistance turn support. So I have a good bottom of my range, and then I like to move down to the daily time frame. Let's go down to here. I like to start on the far left, so I like to go left to right, as you can see. But what I'm going to grab here is emerging candles. So I'm going to grab emerging candles around current price. So I got a candle there, emerging candle there, emerging candle there, a good gap range right there. Another emerging candle, another emerging candle, another. And we'll stop right there. I have to mark this gap range in this last one here, just because price is right here, as you can see at 32.93s. So we have most of every level here kind of in the area. We can auto zoom back out, focus back in, and see if we missed anything that's important. So as you can see, moving back over to the right, there are a couple levels. You can see like the bottom of this gap range, but you can see there's tons of levels utilized already that we don't really have to go back to the right side and mark now. You see there's one more here. But that's really it. There isn't, 100 levels missing or anything, because you grabbed everything from the left side. You grabbed the price history. Price history is everything. All right, so it looks like I got everything now. All right, so it looks like we already have pretty much all of our levels just on the bigger time frame from our emerging candles and our gap ranges from the left side. Let's go down to the 30-day, 30-minute. Another big thing you guys can do too, that I teach my guys at least, is you can always go down here and you can always grab yourself some ugly lines. So if you're someone who likes grabbing trend lines, grab yourself some ugly lines on the daily. And then you can go down to the 4 hour and you can clean it up a lot more. So I like to go down to the 4 hour and grab my trend lines. You can see there's not really much to grab here. It's just kind of like a big drop from earnings and then kind of cascade to the right, which isn't crazy. Definitely expecting this to pick back up. But if the market takes a downturn, so will Amazon. But at least we have all the levels marked out. But as you can see, we only marked weekly and daily levels, and look how well they are utilized on this 4 hour time frame. It even got this recent support that price has been sitting on the past 3 days for Amazon. So that's crazy. But let's see if there's anything we can add. No, not really any trend lines I want to add there. So we're going to move on to the 30-day, 30-minute, last part of this step here. And of course you could draw more trend lines, but this is where you look for other levels that you don't have marked here. So for your smaller time frame, of course you're going to want to mark this level. It's a really good double bottom from 2 previous day lows. This will be the previous day low going into tomorrow, so we're going to have that marked. And it looks like we already have all these highs marked for the most part. I'll mark that as well, just because it is a good resistance here that lines up with the previous day, or what will be the previous day high when it comes to this charting platform. So let's get into the how do we set up our break above now. So as you can see, we have all these levels marked now. So let's say pre-market stays in between this range right here, right? What is going to be our break above? 32, 95, 40. What is our break below? About 32.80s, 32.85. That's going to be a really good break below. What's a good first target? That previous day low right here, that common low that we have here, that common support. So once that breaks, we can aim for that lower low, right? Okay. Let's look back at the top side. What happens after 32.95 breaks? What are we looking for? We're looking for that previous day high. Okay, that's a really good resistance that was already hit up against the day before that. You can see it had a problem ending up above that. Price even brought back down and ended up under that level. So big level here and here. So you have two really good targets right above this. So not only can you aim for 3,300 as a good psych target, you have 3,305, 3,313, 50, and so on and so on. But that is just the basis of how you would set up your day trade plan. So going into tomorrow, you wouldn't delete any of these levels. Okay, the only thing you would add would be your pre-market high and your pre-market low. But let's get into the next one. Let's go with BA. Let's get a good range. Let's get a good top here. I like this level right here. Good support turned resistance. And then let's get a good resistance turned support. Could grab from right there. Let's grab another one outside of that range just so we have more. Let's go down to the daily time frame again. Zoom into here. Let's focus on this left side highs. So you have a good level here, good level here, good level here, emerging candle, emerging candle. Bottom of the gap range here. Just seeing if I have anything else here to grab. It's a good level there. Gap range. It looks like we have everything. Just about. There's a very strong common resistance right there. There's a good support, and then it kind of went downhill. But then as price was hitting up at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, almost 10 candles touched that line and jump rope around that. So I'm going to leave that level at 216.60 there. But I like all these levels we have so far. Let's see. Do we have any ugly lines we can draw on the daily? Let's see. So price is kind of on this kind of uptrend here. So we're going to leave that there. It's kind of an ugly line. Price has been picking up a kind of an upward channel off that. So that's what we're going to be focused on mainly. There's a good strong common resistance here that we need to look out for that price is kind of up against right now. And it's from these previous highs. As our highs and lows are converging, we are squeezing. That is what a squeeze is basically, is when your highs and lows are converging. So think of it as just a kind of a cone. You know, price is beating up against, and it, you know, different angles are going to cause for different types of squeezes and different angles, you know, different patterns have different names, but essentially all squeezes are converging highs and lows. So that's what we're looking at here on the daily time frame. Let's go down to the 4 hour. There's nothing I really want to edit there. I kind of want to leave it how it is. Might actually add this trend line here. I like this a lot. Price kind of rapidly picked up. We had earnings, and then it kind of held that same little angle there, as you can see. It's kind of still above it right there. So we'll leave that there. 30-day, 30 minutes, go to it, see any levels we don't have added. I see a good common level of resistance. And why I like this 30-day, 30-minute is it covers the last month of price action. So you get the entire month of price action in front of you. But this is where you can mark other levels you couldn't see on the daily or weekly or 4 hour, all that good stuff. So I added that common resistance that ends up being a good recent resistance. I added a good low that turned into resistance, ended up being a good resistance turned support again. So I want to leave that up there for the future. And it looks like there's a couple levels here I'm missing out on. So there's a good support here. Let's mark that. Let's zoom in and let's mark about the top of that resistance. So there's a couple of levels there that price is kind of squeezing in between. But we have everything we need now. So let's say price doesn't change. Let's say pre-market stays in between this range. You know, what are we looking for? We're going to be looking above 235 for calls, aiming towards this kind of low here from these previous days. You can see how price was kind of moving towards it. That's going to be where you're aiming for, is right there, and about that 237 from the bigger time frame. Downside, where are you aiming for? That bottom squeeze that you saw in that 4 hour where I marked it, where it was those common lows from this recent trend off of the primary trend line. So no, it's not like the most important trend line, but it is still a very, very important trend line. So you want to see price lowering volume towards that if buyers are going to see weakness build up so they can build back off of that to take price back up for a good bullish reversal. Let's say sellers want it. You're going to see seller volume pick up higher as you go towards this 233.70 and through your trend line from that 4 hour to that 231. So you want to see rising sellers if this is going to be a strong break to the bottom. If not, you can expect bounce and reversal back up to 237.30s. But let's go to DVN. Weekly time frame. Let's get a good range around current price. I like that there's good lows sitting on top of support here as a good resistance. You also have a good support turn resistance, and then it build back up on top of it almost. You can see it kind of had a higher low 80% retest off of it, and we're kind of stuck between this 20 to 31. So I'm going to zoom now into the daily time frame. Let's get some levels going. And so a lot of the time, guys, you'll see me at all the levels. As more of these trade floor ticker episodes come out, I'm going to stop marking as many levels. I'm going to just focus on current price so you guys can see how to go straight to the point. You know, a lot of the time I like to go through every single level so I can show everyone the point of each level and, you know, why you want to mark them. But when I'm looking at it like this, I want to show you guys how you can do it as quick as you can. So marking all emerging candles. We've got a very, very big gap range. Price has already retested it, moved back up, made a lower high. So this is a very kind of common angle that we were looking at for a break back above. Price is already breaking above that with a good white soldiers pattern here. And now we're kind of getting what looks like a bull flag, in my opinion, off of this bullish breakout. You have kind of have your low, then you have your higher low made, and then price has bounced up, held the 9 EMA, pushed up with the bullish pattern above those converging highs, broke up, and now you're kind of getting that lowering volume as price is breaking out. So this is actually looking good for a short-term retracement or what may even lead to a bigger breakout. So just from a candlestick pattern point of view, I want to see above that 2850 for bullish continuation. And honestly, I want to see what is this breakout here. So I'm going from breakout up to the high of the move, and I'm marking the 50% retracement, which actually lines up with my emerging candle right here. So perfect. It's actually what I was wanting to mark, but I wanted to make sure. This is going to be my control point on the daily time frame. So if I see price go back and retrace on top of this, it's still going to be bullish controlled. If price ends up breaking under that, that's going to be a solid break below. So I don't even have to go down to the smaller time frames to plan out an energy company right here. So we're looking above 2850/29 for bullish continuation. And we're looking below 2765 for bearish retracement towards that 9 EMA or even that 2725. So plenty of levels to go off of there for DVN. Let's move on to Mrna. Weekly time frame. Not much more to add on this. Kind of just go to the daily if you need to. Don't really need to add a weekly range. Grab your high. Grab a common resistance that's below support, and then every emerging candle in between. I'm also going to grab the breakout control point. So we broke out about right here above this common resistance, and this is to the high of the move. What I'm about to mark, oh, and look at that, already have it marked. So we already have our control point marked, and what I was wanting to see is where that is at. So you can see at that 419, very big level of this most recent breakout. So price broke under that and is showing what looks like bearish continuation on the daily. So just like that DVN chart, I almost don't have to go to the smaller time frame to plan all this out. As you can see, this looks like a good bearish continuation, but it doesn't look solid until it's under this 386.30. So wait until it is under this level and you can play for shorts, but that does look really good. It's also under my very passive 9 EMA. That's kind of the last confirmation I look forward to. But another thing to look forward to is if price does retrace back up. Let's say this 419, 420s is held back above, right? You're going to want to see this gap range. Are we going to go up and retrace, and are we going to just fill that and then break back down? Or are we going to go up through that? So keep that gap range marked and watch that 386. Watch 420 for recovery. That looks really, really good, though. Good job, LRD, pointing this out. I know you've been on top of that. But I'd be looking above these bigger levels for the bigger move. Of course, when it comes to the BB system, you can add all the levels you want. What I mean by that is when you go to the BB system, you want to focus on a couple things, okay? So let's just look at the last 2 days here. You want to have that previous day high marked. You want to have that previous day low marked. You want to have that pre-market high and that pre-market low. So this is your whole initial trading range, but this is the entire trading range for the bigger move. So yeah, you can look out above pre-market high to the previous day high. You can look at the previous day low from the pre-market low, but you need to focus on the bigger range too. So make sure you don't take your eyes off of that daily time frame. Some of these charts I go down to the 10-minute and we break down smaller time frame plans, but you can see here on Mrna I didn't really need to do that. Let's go to Microsoft. I'd actually covered Microsoft pretty heavily last week, so make sure to go check out those charts, guys. But we're looking at bullish continuation as long as these are all holding up. But big decisions last week were from Microsoft, Amazon, which we were wanting to see if Amazon was going to at least try and recover at least a little bit, and then Apple. These were the main three that I was looking at. As you can see, we kind of had converging highs and lows there. And we had a small breakout. So we had a rising volume breakout and what looks like we're just trying to give us continuation. So if we end up getting that short-term retracement, this is going to be the perfect time for it. If you want to see the market move higher, you need to see Apple above 149. You need to see Microsoft above. Well, it's already above it. It needs to hold 289. So again, look out for those retracements. These are perfect levels to retrace to, the level of breakout. So that's what I'm going to be looking for the overall market. go over the next chart, Nvidia. Semiconductors, you're gonna want to watch SOXX. Emerging candle, emerging candle, emerging, emerging, gap range, and emerging. Halfway point of this green candle here. And then gap range, because why not? I also want to get this lazy trend line. And then I'm going to edit this on the 4-hour. So yeah, I wanted to see from here to here. As you can see, price kind of broke right there. And then since we had that retracement, price is already retraced and broken that angle as well. So price is kind of back to a stalemate. So I'd be looking above 202.30s for bullish price action on Nvidia, or below 199.85 for bearish price action. And again, this does not count your pre-market high low. Please add that info to every single chart. I'm not going to be able to, make up where pre-market high and low are going to end up being at tomorrow. Let's add our levels. Got a good resistance on top, good support on the bottom. Let's focus on the left side price action. I can see prices right here, so I'm going to focus on just right there. So got most of the price action from there. Let's move on. Looks like we got everything there. There's a couple levels here we're missing. Looks like we got most of everything. Get some lazy lines going. So you can see this, even this passive angle has been broken and retested. And drop has been further. We covered this last week, the inside trade that happened. Bearish breakdown to the downside. Kind of had that big drop, then you had another big day, and then you kind of had that slowdown, and then another big day on that Friday. So are we looking for slowdown? Are we looking for further retracement on Roku? Roku is kind of a beast. We saw this exact move on the opposite side. When everyone was freaking out saying, guys, there's the 4 white soldiers. You're seeing the same move to the on the opposite side, just with not as much volume. So I do think you will see a slow up here soon, as overextended as Roku already is compared to the rest of the market. But this did kind of start from earnings, so it's not really fair to just say, Roku can't drop like this. But as you can see, though, it definitely can. So Roku, what's the game plan? What are we looking for? Move under 355 or above 361. So make sure you mark these levels on your charts. That's what we're going to be looking for. So you might see Roku on my daily watch list tomorrow. Run. You're going to want to look at TAN when you look at this. The entire solar sector kind of took another retracement. They made another higher low, or a lower high, sorry. I'll show you that on TAN real quick. We've been charting this pretty heavily, but price has already kind of retraced, moved back up, but it's still above its major trend line here, as you can see. That's the most important part, where we're kind of seeing this angle here. So as long as that angle holds, the solar sector will hold. Okay, so there shouldn't be any bigger further retracements, especially with the infrastructure bill kind of messing around. But you want to see what's going on with that. But let's mark the chart up. Let's not be biased. Whoops, I was on the right time frame. Emerging candles in the weekly time frame. Let's go down to the daily. Let's get some more. So price is about right here. Let's focus in that area. We already got a lot of them from the weekly time frame. As you can see, there's a lot of consolidation up in here. Got more of my levels going. All right, perfect. So for run, I'd be looking for the above the trend change here. You're going to be waiting for more price action info. But as you can see, we are still in this just wide range kind of moving downwards right now. Very wide range moving down. So I'd wait till you get down to the further part of this kind of downtrend here. Any catalyst, of course, is going to be big, but also a big thing with trend changes, as you can see, kind of had that big breakup and then kind of dropped down. We're still holding above the base right here of this inverse head and shoulder that ended up taking us back up. This cup and holder, cup and handle, whatever you want to call it. But we're still holding above that level right here, this common level. This is the important level to watch, the 46. So for run especially, this is the level you're going to be watching. If this isn't held, you're going to see a further retracement. You're going to want to watch not just this recent support, but these other ones we marked from the weekly and daily emerging candles. But that's what I'd be looking at for run. Recovery, you're going to want to see above 48.25 and also out of this major channel here. So be patient. Again, not every day you're going to be taking a trade on these guys. Of course, there's going to be days where you're just kind of chilling, waiting on something to set up. And again, most of trading is monitoring. So we're on Tesla now. Let's mark some emerging candles, gap range, emerging candle, gap range, and gap range. Let's get some more emerging candles. Gap range, emerging candle, emerging candle. Just kind of generally looking at the chart, you know, and again, you don't have to always draw this stuff, but just kind of get a general view. You can see price has had a trend change play. Price has made its low from inside that trend and has held this angle ever since. So you're kind of looking at this kind of channel going up right now for Tesla. Right now, it's perfectly in the middle of it. And recently, we just covered this last week, but as price bounced off the bottom of that channel, it kind of held a bullish rectangle, kind of like Microsoft and half the market just did. A lot of that was a bullish rectangle. So as you can see, price broke up and is holding with a, does anybody know the name of this candle? This is a reset candle. It's holding over the 50% of the candle that broke out. So price broke out to a new high and price is holding over that. So you're going to want to watch the 50% control point of this previous day level for break below and a further retracement to that 705 and even 696 from under that 700, or a bigger breakout above the 731, 735 levels. So those are the levels you're going to want to watch for Tesla this week. UPS, last one. So just instantly, I see there is a big rally-based rally, and you're getting kind of another base here. Big levels that you want to watch whenever you see that kind of stuff is where is it holding, okay? So when this last one held, it looks like it held a pretty high retracement. It didn't have to retrace further, you know, to keep moving higher. So what did this one end up doing? This one has pushed up, broken out, and then has retraced with a lowering high under its 50% control point right here, which, where's that up? We'll just mark it, take all that other stuff off. So you can see price is not recovering until it's back above 196.75. A level I would watch is the 50% of this green candle too. So you have this emerging candle, and then you have 50% of this candle here. So yeah, and it's right on it. It's my line's kind of off, so I'm gonna mark it a little lower. So I'd be watching about under 190 flat. I'd just go ahead with the psych number, 190 flat or 196.75. So that one was actually pretty easy. I didn't have to leave the weekly time frame for that one. But the bigger move will come above that 197 area or under that 190. I would just mark that 190 flat just so you have it all covered. But I hope you guys enjoyed Trade Floor Tickers number 3, and I'll get back to you guys on the next one. Make sure next week that you guys every Sunday send a couple of your favorite tickers, and I'll make sure to try and cover them.